Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 361. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only producer, Matt P. Video. Matt, how are you?
I'm running the ship and it might all come crashing down around us.
No, we've got backups just in case it all goes wrong, but we're changing things up a little bit. It's very strange. It's very strange, it's very nerve-wracking, and it's very interesting. Did I forget I was meant to be doing this podcast? Yes, I did. Am I here, though? Yes, I am. Will I be eating on this podcast, possibly? There's a good possibility that will happen. There's a good possibility that will happen. And, of course, the one and only, Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Would you rather I ask you not... Should I just not ask how you are, ever? Like, I feel like... that feels like the hardest question for you to answer every week. You know?
Is there really ever... Does anybody really ever have an answer to that question, or do they just give an answer?
Depends. If you're friends or your buddies, then I'd say you give a real answer.
I'm doing good.
Oh, wow. Just confirmed that we're not friends. Wow. E3 is almost over.
E3 is dead, Fix.
No,
E3 over.
No, it's not dead. E3 wasn't here this year, and a little bit of a shit show.
We'll talk about that in a second. But if you didn't know, My Xbox and Me is our weekly Xbox podcast right here on youtube.com/MyXboxandMe, and of course on all podcast services. Remember, you can get the show. You can get the show on patreon.com/MCFixer. And some other goodies, like my newest music video that you will be getting right now if you go and support. Other than that, make sure you hit the review button for us over on the podcast services, etc., etc., etc. Shout out to our Patreon producers, Aaron God and FNH Paul. Thank you very much, boys, for everything that you do. Guys, like I said, E3 is finished. So, I guess E3 is not finished because E3 never happened. How you feeling? Today we're going to be doing a live reaction to the Square Enix conference, hence why we won't be talking about it on this week's episode, if you're wondering. How you feeling? How now it's all over with. We've had our extended shows. We've had Xbox. We've had Bethesda. We've had Witcher Together. I know, calm down, everyone. We've had Capcom. We've had Devolver. We've had... Who else? Who else was there?
Summer Games Fest.
So, that's...
Capcom? I don't know if you mentioned
That's
Capcom.
the one I can agree on. Shit show. Yeah. How you feeling, though? How you feeling?
Not horrible, to be honest. Like, looking at it without the expectations of it being E3, because E3 holds a lot of weight, whether we liked it or not at the moment that it went away. It holds a lot of weight. Removing that from the equation, I think it's good. It's fine. You know, this year wasn't too spread out, right? It's been pretty condensed so far, right?
Yeah, it's been a pain in the arse. It's been one of those ones where I'm like, I wanted more. I wanted a lot more. A lot more from it as a whole. Do you think E3 coming back next year has E3 will have your Ubisofts, have your... Even Square being today, I'm like, are you usually today or not?
Not even remember. Square.
No, it's Final Fantasy.
It's Final Fantasy
That's a great point. That's a great point. That's a great point.
So I think we've said this for like the past 2 years. There's been so many people missing and games missing that next year will be big for sure, right? Where it's like, I just don't know if that's ever the case anymore. Fuck you. I don't know if it's the case anymore.
Also, though, if everybody hits their next alleged release date, they're all looking for first half of next year, and so we might see updates on some of these games that came in the first quarter of next year, but I don't know if there will be a massive amount of stuff to show off next year in the summer. I'm sure there will be, because there are always new games to come. But yeah.
Interesting. Well, we're gonna break down Xbox's and Bethesda's game showcase. We've sat with it for a little bit. If you didn't watch our live stream, and I had a bunch of people messaging. I saw a few messages. Did you not? You guys must have seen them as well. Can't believe you guys didn't do a breakdown podcast. I'm like, we did a whole live stream reacting to it and then spoke for like half an hour to 45 minutes after the fact. Like, go and watch that.
We know the majority of the people don't know what we look like. We know the majority of the people who listen to the podcast don't watch the podcast.
Yes.
They're not on the YouTube channel.
No, that's
so
true.
they don't see the live reaction content. And so they don't
True.
know that, yes, you could have come and you could have come to the YouTube channel. You could have watched the entire conference with us, hung out like buds, cracked yourself a beer. It was a great time.
It was a good time. I had a really good time.
Yeah.
I had a really good time. So I've stepped away from reaction content as of lately. As most people know, I'm more into my GTA roleplay stuff now. And I'm not gonna lie, this was my favorite E3, my favorite not E3, from a content point of view. I still think there's a lot of stuff we can do better. I still think there's a lot of stuff that can change, but I really enjoyed reacting with you guys. To even Summer Game Fest, which was not good. I still had a good time with you guys. I feel like we had our formula. We was all in sync. I felt like we added to each other's terrible jokes. There was a lot of them. But it was a good time. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. But the show as a whole, how you Matt, it's over with. You've sat with it for a little bit. We've had the extended show now. How you feeling?
Good. I mean, like, it was what I expected. I think of the three of us, I was probably the highest after the Xbox show, maybe. I thought, a couple of the predictions we got in there were even in there. Not mine, but other people's. And so, it's surprising that we got any points at all. It's always hype when we get points. And the one point that we definitely got, although we haven't seen the official adjudication yet, is that Kojima was there, and that's a big pop moment for a lot of Xbox fans. And I know we don't play into this fan wars sort of stuff very much, but Xbox One E3, if you can, so
of course,
that, right?
yeah.
Like they're the ones who showed up to play, and so
it was like a teenager fighting little kids, though. It was like
with a steel chair as well.
Nobody showed up like it was E3. Let's be real.
No.
Like, it's like, oh, this is a really formal event, and everybody's just like dressed down, casual, sweater, whatever, and Microsoft's just full there in a suit.
Full suit. That's me
ready?
usually at events where like they say smart casual, and I turn up in a suit, and I'm like, oh,
Not what they meant.
This is not what they meant.
And I understand that it's pretty niche, but Xbox showed off my now most anticipated game of the year, which is from Squanch Games, High on Life.
Yeah.
We've always been crying out for more comedy games. They've always done VR games up until now, and so I've never actually had the opportunity to sit down and play them properly. And now I can, and I think that game looks hilarious, and I'm super down for it. So yeah.
Yeah, one thing I will say, just to add on to your whole like not being fanboys and stuff like that, I don't have a problem with people wanting Xbox to do better, or Xbox wanting more from Xbox, or blah 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 blah. But even in our live reactions, like we had people coming in, obviously, trying to cause drama. I felt like, and I'm just. It's not who we are. We're all very privileged. We all own every single console there is right now. Some of us own PCs as well. Crash has got something. I don't know what it is. It's not a PC, but it works every now and then. But we just enjoy video games. We happen to all enjoy playing on Xbox a lot. And we enjoy the brand of Xbox. Hence why we do an Xbox podcast. But we love video games. Period. That is it. Done. End of story. Nah, I don't get why people just really want to, like, force us in a hole. My Xbox and me. Not my Xbox. End of. You know?
Yeah. It's a weird case where, like, I think one of two things happened. One, people were expecting something that Microsoft never said they were going to do. Because even beforehand, they were like, we're going to show you games and stuff that's coming out soon. That's what they said. I don't think they didn't deliver on that. I think that's exactly what they gave us. Probably a bit too much. They stuck a little bit too close to their word, right?
Yeah.
I'll admit, I do side with the people. I saw a lot of talk on Twitter. There was a lot of chatter on Twitter, especially from the industry, of like, people who hated Xbox's showcase are just miserable, or they're just this, or they're just that. And I totally disagree with those people that were saying those things. I don't think there's a problem with wanting Xbox to show their big hitters. and to show, and I know, and we had this conversation on the live stream, which I had an opinion of, which I then went back on because I agreed with you in the end, Chris, about like, I said Xbox are in this to sell consoles, and you said no, they're not. And I do agree with you now, and Matt, you also had the same opinion as Crash. I do agree with you both now, where it's like, yeah, no, I can see Xbox doing this from now on. 12 months, 12 months, 12 months. Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. Like, it works, and the messaging is so clear and makes so much more sense, which is, we want your... How much is Game Pass for a year? Ultimate. Ultimate's like £14 a year, right? What's 14 times 12, Matt? Go.
160 something.
We want your 160 something dollars, pounds a year. And how are we going to get that from you? By showing you what is to come in the next 12 months. And I actually think it's a really smart strategy. Because when you do then have your Gears, and you have your, this one was Starfield this year, but you have your big hitters, it's just going to be like, wow, and we get this in Game Pass every single time.
I have a question based off what you just said. Do we think that Gears would be a big hitter at one of these?
Yes. To me, it would, yes. I don't...
Okay. I agree. I agree.
I think that's the thing I've learned now, which what people consider a big hitter just isn't. Maybe it's just me maturing, me getting older, right? Like, Starfield is a big hitter. We can all agree on that, right? Gears to me is a big hitter. To some people, it's not a big hitter. To some people, it's just another Gears game. But to me, it's one of Xbox's tentpole titles, and the reason I got into Xbox was because of Gears of War. So yeah, to me, it's a big hitter, definitely.
I think Microsoft as well, they're smart, right? They're looking at what everybody else is doing, and they're not just looking in the realm of gaming, right? They have to be conscious right now that Netflix is going through a bit of a crisis of losing a lot of people. But oh shit, they released Stranger Things, and everybody's talking about Stranger Things. And that's kind of what Game Pass is becoming. It's like, okay, Forza Hot Wheels, get back into... If you were into Forza 6 months ago, now you're back into Forza because this shit looks dope. And then here's something completely different, like Squanch Games thing. And that's also coming to Game Pass. Like, surely you fall into one of those two camps. And guess what? If you don't, here's Flintlock and here's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And Gears is that for you, and Halo Infinite is that for somebody else. And for some people, this conference didn't hit those heights. It didn't hit a Gears, right? And it didn't catch you in that way. But for me, Squanch Games is that, right? Like, I am just as excited for that game as I have been for Starfield up until now. All right, maybe that's putting it slightly too high. As I was for Halo, certainly. Like it's there for me. And so, yeah, so I think that's what they're trying to do. They know that not every subscriber to Game Pass gives a shit about Gears, but a lot of them will. And Gears, I think, is considered a big hitter for them. Forza is a big hitter for them. Them showing off Forza was a big deal, I think.
Oh, huge.
For a lot of people. Yeah. So huge, they're doing what they need to do, I think.
Do we miss the live shows?
No. Do you mean the live in-person thing?
No, I mean, like, yeah, the live in-person.
The way E3 used to be.
The way E3 used to be, yes.
For Xbox, yes.
Yeah.
For any of the big hitters that always hit from Xbox, PlayStation, that's really all there was.
Yeah, it was only... Well, Bethesda did it as well.
I feel like... okay.
They
Bethesda
did
for me was more hit or miss, but
No, I agree with you. They were hit or miss, but I'm saying they did a live version.
Right.
Of their
but
show.
I'm just saying I miss it for the people who are consistent with it. Because if you're not going to be consistent with it, I don't need that live show. But I do think that there was a bit of hype, but I don't think there was anything that would have benefited. Yeah.
There wasn't that energy, but I agree with you. At this showcase, I don't think any of the games would have got the pop that a live show would have wanted per se.
Yeah,
but I still miss seeing all the fans there. I miss seeing
just like the camera going around. And you see people's screens all around. And, yeah,
I missed it.
It's a really interesting point, actually, because it's that thing of when you go to a comedy club and you laugh just that little bit harder because everybody else is laughing, right? And so maybe you're right. Maybe this would have popped more. Forza would have popped more for us if in the audience people were excited for Forza. Kojima would have popped even more for us if people in the crowd were losing their fucking minds, right? When Kojima's on screen. Maybe there is that extra added element. The reason I initially said, no, I don't miss it, is I think one of the highlights really of this for me was its editing and its pacing and its pieces to camera that were tight and consistent, and now we're into gameplay again. And I think you lose some of that when you have somebody on a real life stage. Certainly when you have two people on a real life stage, you lose some of that, right? It becomes more conversational and a bit more long-winded and a bit more, ooh, where are we going with this?
I don't know if that's an issue with the live events necessarily, or just the way those events were done all the time.
The right.
I feel like it always was sort of at every conference was like, why are they having these 10-minute interviews without showing any gameplay? Or it's like 2 minutes of gameplay or something like that. And so I don't know if that was an issue of the live events, but I do agree with you that back then it was not the most enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I think I've got to remember, as much as we act like it's not, we are still in a pandemic. There is still COVID out there. There is still people dying. So I need to remember that video games are a luxury in this world when there's a lot more important things going on. Look at Ukraine and all different things, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just something missing from this year's show for me, and like maybe it was just being live. And having, I do miss that boom shot, like you said, Crash. That boom shot of just the panning that entire arena, and everyone's wearing green, or they've got their lanyards on, and there's just that hearing some woman scream out of nowhere about something, and you're just like, yeah, you get it, like you're excited. And I've been in the live stage before. You guys should have heard me. EA Play London that first year, and they announced FIFA Career Mode, like the story mode. I was screaming.
I was losing.
I was so hyped, and I agree with you, Matt. It is that comedy effect where like you're there in front of it, and you take it all in a little bit more, you know. So yeah, I mean, let's go through the showcase at the end of the day. We kicked off with Redfall gameplay. I liked what I saw, and I've watched it again since, and I like what the game is going to be, but. And it does come with a big but, and I cannot lie. It isn't gonna be a 10 out of 10. It looks like a Left 4 Dead, open worldy, fun with your friends, run around shooting. It looks good. That doesn't mean it doesn't look good, but I don't think it's gonna reach the level of game that I was hoping it may have been. Cause I don't know. I don't know. Hit me, Matt.
Two things. So first off, do you think that Deathloop looked like a 10 out of 10 when they were showing it around? Because it ended up being a 10 out of 10 for a lot of outlets when it got reviewed.
Not for me, though. What, 10 out of 10 for me?
Okay,
so,
well, fair enough.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is Arcane, Dishonored as well, and these games, like, they have that back catalog.
It's the gameplay. It's the gameplay's key. And you know what? You're right. Dishonored... I never played Dishonored. It just never looked like my type of game. But I did watch the Arcane documentary, and after watching that, I had a whole new appreciation for that studio and seeing the interworkings of their level design and things like that. Next level.
I don't doubt that they are capable. They are a 10 out of 10 capable studio.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether Redfall will be or not, I don't know. But two, in the extended showcase, they talked directly about the comparisons to Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood and said this is very much not that. Like they kind of harped on it quite a bit about this being very much a story that you can play through on your own and enjoy. That the story is a deep-rooted element in the game and important to the game, and that this isn't like there will be areas with lots of enemies.
It's not Back 4 Blood and stuff like that.
It's not hordes being overwhelmed by little runts of enemies. That's not it. These vampires are dangerous and powerful, and one on its own could take you out. And so, because I thought the same thing as you initially.
Yeah.
And watching the extended showcase kind of got me more intrigued to play it on my own, actually.
Which is why the extended showcase was a brilliant idea, by the way. Because it's that I think that has to become standard for Xbox now, which they have been doing it for a few years now anyway. And it's always that thing that I go, do I need to watch this? No, I don't think you need to watch the entire thing. But for games that you care about, there is more information now out there for you to go and find out about, which is good.
Yeah. It did have one, like, what I considered relatively big announcement as well, which is Valheim is coming to Xbox.
Not big.
Which for me is a big deal, because my barrier to entry of that game was always, I don't want to play it on PC. Give it to
Which
me
is
on
wild.
stick.
That game is a PC game.
That game's not going to play great on
No.
console. From what I've heard about that game's not going to play great on console.
That game don't play well on bloody PC, let alone on console.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Hey, I hope you enjoy it, man. I hope you enjoy it.
We did get a little bit more Redfall news after the fact, in that
Bad
they're going to let
news.
you play as duplicate characters.
Oh.
Okay, and then
What
there is
about-
another thing that I think you're talking about. That story progression is tied to the host in co-op. It's only story progression, so not character progression.
I don't care.
Story progression still sucks. It sucks. I don't know why games do this.
There's got to be a reason.
Just-
There has to be a reason behind it.
I think it's because they really care about the story they've put into this. And they kind of want you to experience that story on its own. There's kind of the feeling I got from the extended showcase thing.
Shouldn't have made it a 4-player co-op game then, should you?
Well, a 4-player co-op game that they also quite proud of the fact that all of these skills intertwine and complement each other really well when you team up with each other. And so it's like,
I
okay,
get
well,
it, but
what's the idea? I don't
it's
know.
already a barrier to entry for me now because I'm like, all right, let's say the three of us are playing and we get someone else come in and we play it on my Xbox and me now, yeah? It's like, I don't want you to host. I'm telling you now, I don't want you to host.
Yeah, of course.
And you also don't want me to host.
Yeah.
So it's
Are
that
achievements locked to the host?
Probably not, but it's just frustrating because it's like no one wants to go back and do the thing they've already done.
Yeah.
Of course.
So
Agreed.
it's just it's like I'm glad they've got it out of the way already. They've told us we don't need to like wake up one day when we play the game and then it's like, wait a minute. It's like, no, it's out there. Nah, it gives us plenty of time to get over it, build a bridge, get over it, and move
Also,
on. But
It gives
frustrating.
them time to change their minds if they really want. Like, I don't know how difficult it is to kind of flip a
I don't
switch on
think they
something
will.
like that.
Don't
I
ever
don't
say
think
the
they will
word
either, but-
flip the switch, ever. We're taking that out of our vocabulary when it comes to game development. There's no flip of a switch, all right?
What do you mean?
I'll
Game
say
developers
that.
have a wall full of switches, and they're like, okay, these are the mechanics we're enabling, and they just flip those switches. That's
that
game
way.
design 101.
To be fair, do you remember when Rocket League was like, oh yeah, all we have to do is like push a button and
It was
crossplay is there?
literally flip
It was
a switch.
literally like flip a switch and then we got
Yeah.
crossplay.
They also accidentally did it a couple
Yeah.
of times or once or twice.
Yeah. I remember that.
So,
Man, can you imagine it was Rocket League that got us crossplay? Wild. That's wild
Yeah.
to me.
Wild.
Wild. Next up was a game that Matt is very high on, which is High on Life, was revealed. It looked really good. Like we've said before, we do always want more comedy games. It looks weird. It looks funky. It looks different. And that's a good thing. It looks like the thing you would want to play. If you like shooters, it looked like it looked capable enough to be a competent shooter, which is nice.
Yeah.
With the dumb, funny elements of what these guys bring, obviously.
It looked like a fun time. It was cool seeing all the guns are different characters, so you'll be getting different voice lines and comedy bits from them. I think the people behind it are also good at comedy, so that's also
That helps.
a benefit.
It helps.
Yeah.
Making a game with this comedy base and they're good at it. That's a +1 in my book. +1 in my book.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this game. I think this, again, the start of the show was fantastic, and this was one of the reasons, because this was a new reveal. We never knew about this, right?
No, that's
Yeah.
brand
So-
new. Brand new.
brand
Yeah,
new
so that
reveal,
was-
day one on Game Pass, as came up a lot during the show. But also
Yep.
then, again, as I'm sure I will say many times this episode, during the extended showcase, they went more in depth with Justin Roiland on it, and they did like a 6 or 7 minute presentation on it. Reading between the lines of some of what he said and showed, it kind of looks Mega Man-esque in that you have these 9 leaders or these 9 portals that send you to different worlds, and you can do them in any order. And in each of those worlds, seems you get different weapons that you add to your arsenal to take into the rest of the worlds then. So there's going to be this thing of, who do you go after first? Okay, well, the weapon that you get over here is going to be good for the boss over here, so do it in this order. And that's going to create some interesting conversation around it. And it sounds like the scope of what they're building is big. And they're calling this their triple I game, you know? So
Triple I.
Yeah. I
They gotta be different.
Quite a few jokes in the developer interview about whether or not they're AAA or triple I. But yeah, like the scope of it seems big. It looks beautiful as well. It looks pretty. Like it's a weird art style. There's like weird stuff going on, but it looks great. And yeah, I trust in anything those guys want to do.
Fair enough. I'm glad you're high on it. I'm glad you're looking forward to it, because I'm gonna let you play it and then tell me if I should play it.
It's going to be the game that I will stream on my Xbox.
It's going to be a Monday game stream.
Sure.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice. Next one we got was the Hollow Knight's Silk Song gameplay, and it's coming to Game Pass day one. Obviously, a highly anticipated sequel to Hollow Knight. Not a game that interested me too much, but I know how big... for the people who enjoy these games, I know how big an announcement this was, so this was a big get for Xbox as well. Again, anything that goes into Game Pass Day 1 to me is a huge get, so you got to enjoy it when it's not exclusively owned. And I think that's something maybe at that moment when I was thinking about, when I was just talking during the live stream, I was maybe underplaying that a little bit too much, which is Kojima's game is going to be in Game Pass. Hollow Knight, in Game Pass. Persona, which we're getting to next, in Game Pass. Like, it's not that much money for Game Pass.
Yeah.
And for what you're now getting, for what we've moved into, it's mad. It is mad.
Yeah.
And you got to think as well, like, last generation, I was very much a PlayStation guy, right? Like if I was going to be looking to buy games, they were primarily going to be on PlayStation. And now it's just ridiculous. Like, what am I buying on PlayStation? What am I buying and playing on my PlayStation? It's going the way of Nintendo, where I buy my Mario games and I play them on my Nintendo machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I buy my third-person action adventure Spider-Man. Like, that's it. That's what I buy on PlayStation, because everything else I've already got on Xbox. It's there. Day one on Game Pass.
This is not an ad, by the way. This is not an ad.
But it's wild. But it is wild.
No, I 100% agree with you. It's... Look, I said this before, and it's like, if I was a kid today, oh my god, I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy. Like, it'd be ridiculous. Next up, speaking of, Persona. Coming to Xbox, finally. It's finally on Xbox. This was humongous. Like...
Huge news.
I said it on the live stream, I'll say it again here. I don't give a crap if you even care about Persona. Buy Persona. Just so we can keep getting Persona games. I know it's coming to Game Pass. Still buy it. Please.
Yep. If you want more future games, buy it just in case. Not all of them. Just buy one of them. Pick one.
Buy 5. Just buy 5.
Yeah. 5's the only one. Like, if you haven't played Persona, 5's probably the one that I would recommend. If you were to play any of them.
I haven't, and I will be.
Yeah, just because it's the most up to date, it's probably the best looking, so you won't have that dissuasion. I don't know what word to use to push you away from the game.
Dissuasion. I like that word.
I don't know if that's an actual word, to be honest.
I like it though.
I understand what you mean though, and that's the important thing.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm excited personally. Like, to have Persona on Xbox finally is the step in the right direction. It was always a weird thing with Persona, where it's like, is it exclusive? Is it not exclusive? Like, have PlayStation beaten up Sony? Have Sony beat up Sega? Sorry, and been like, you only make this for us, and we're not paying you for it. I feel like they finally come around on the idea, like, Xbox players do want JRPGs. You know?
Do you think it was after the Persona 4 fighting game didn't come to Xbox that people complained about it and asked for it, that either Xbox went and like sat down and had a conversation with them, and they're like, hey, we should put this over?
I think it's more to the thought process of, we need a foothold in Japan, and the reason we're losing, yes, and we're always going to be losing, but the games that we need day and date are not here. Like, like Matt just said, he was a PlayStation guy, right? If PlayStation were getting these games on their version of Game Pass a month later, he would still be on Xbox because it's a month later. No one wants to wait. And like I said, this is a step in the right direction for Persona. Let's see when Persona 6 gets announced. Is that day and date? And you've seen. Look at Yakuza Like a Dragon. Look at even just Yakuza period. Was all in Game Pass. They've done such big things with Game Pass, and I think it's with the app as well coming over. Over here, obviously, we're getting the app. You've got to imagine they're going to partner with somebody else in different territories to get this app onto TVs that are big in different countries, right? And then, boom, Bob's your uncle. You don't even need a console to play Xbox, so you've got that gateway drug in.
Yeah, if Game Pass, if the Persona games come to xCloud, that would be huge overseas in Japan, right?
Huge. Bro, that'd be huge here.
It's also not just... Yeah, no, absolutely. But they're very on the go gamers compared to other places, and so like stuff like that is like that's really what Xbox is probably working towards. Like, I'm sure they love that it's on console. I'm sure that they love it's on Game Pass. Is it on PC Game Pass?
Oh no. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, but the xCloud one is like the one where it's like that is a unique Xbox experience where you can play it on your mobile. On Xbox ecosystem.
Yeah, 100% agree. Speaking of more PC news, Riot Games have got a ton of new bits and bobs all coming to Game Pass. You freaked out about this, Crash, because you understand these are games that you care about, League and Valorant being the big two. I didn't quite understand the relevance of it until I went on Twitter and then saw actual PC players being like, yo, this is big.
Yeah.
Like, this is big. Like, what the hell?
I've played a lot of League in my life. I do not have all the characters in League.
Yeah.
And I know that is the case for a lot of people. So something like this is pretty huge for a lot of people. And it's also, this is probably one of the most interesting, and I'm going to say best moves Xbox has done as far as Game Pass to diversify the audience. Because there are people who probably don't even look at other games on their PC who will see Game Pass, all the characters unlocked. Oh, it's $1 trial? I might try that a month. And they're like, oh, I like having access to all these characters. I'm just going to keep it. And then, this game gets added. People have been talking about it and slowly pulling people into that ecosystem. I think this is one of the best moves that they've done to date.
Yeah.
Also...
Sorry, please.
You're just getting people who, there are people who are devoted to these games, right? That all they play is Valorant, all they play is League. And you're just getting those people just to divert their gaze slightly and go, oh, I'm just going to now play it through Xbox Game Pass. And there is all this other stuff here too. And maybe I'll click around one day, But absolutely. I think it's a huge get and it's a big deal for a very niche set of people.
I don't think it is that niche.
It's not niche.
It's not that niche.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
They're
a big group. They're a big group.
Maybe
niche implies small.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Because we view like MOBAs as a niche genre, but League is not a niche game.
It's not.
So like
a hardcore group of people. I suppose maybe is a better way of putting it. Like those people who are into those games are devoted to those games.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I wonder what this means because Riot's been going and expanding their games into other areas. Like I know Wild Rift's supposed to come to consoles at some point. And I do know they have the fighting game and there's another action adventure game they have planned. I wonder if this is hinting at any sort of partnership with Xbox as far as those releases go, or at least that they'll come to Xbox, some of those, because not everything was announced for Xbox.
Even if it doesn't come to like Xbox straight away, hopefully it comes to PC Game Pass. Would be amazing. We've seen it time and time again, right? Where like Xbox build a relationship with a company, they put stuff in Game Pass, and then they double down on that relationship. Like I think case in point with Sega, with now Persona, the Yakuza came first. And that was the test case, and they saw the numbers probably and was like, "Oh, this probably sold well, and there was a lot of people that played it. Cool."
Yeah.
Now let's do our older titles. We've done that. And then with Riot, it could be the exact same thing where eventually we see Valorant's a free-to-play game, right?
Yes.
But the character thing will come to console. You would imagine when that comes to console, which will be a huge get.
If
if it comes to console. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah. It's also it's nice to see Xbox doing something, because I could see this being a case of Xbox getting these games and then Xbox doesn't turn them exclusive. That's not Xbox's goal. Like, we did see a bunch of launch exclusives, so I'm not going to say that that's not something Xbox does, but we are seeing them, like, it's Game Pass on day one. They don't need to make it exclusive. They're already pulling people into their ecosystem by doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Matt hit the nail on the head with it, although. It's just diverting the attention away from the thing they used to just turn on their PC, click it into League. Now it's, okay. Let me. Oh, okay. This is different. Yeah. Let me have a look.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think you'd need to launch it through Game Pass every time.
No, nor do I. No, I don't think so either. But it's probably just gonna be a thing of like link your account, right, or something like.
Yeah,
like
I would
that.
assume.
So like Matt was saying as well, it's like, oh, I've got all these characters. Oh, both of you. Oh, I don't want to lose these characters. Like, no, I've got them now. Oh, it's £15 a month. Oh, well, if I'm gonna pay that, let me have a look what else is in here. Boom.
Yeah. It's just a slow build up on what they're doing, and I'd love to see what, if anything, they plan on. Which they've already done. They've had the Disney deal for a while. They've had Spotify deals. They've done stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see them do something in the gaming space that isn't something that they can normally offer, right?
Well,
This isn't an Xbox product
and stuff like that, right? Like, this is actually like way bigger than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Next up was the Plague Tale sequel, which is also launching on Game Pass. Big one for me, as someone, again, as most of you know, not a stealth gamer. Stealth games are not usually my thing, but I really enjoyed A Plague Tale. And if you haven't played it, go and check it out. It's definitely worth checking out. Matt, I know you said you're considering it, right?
I've tried Plague Tale.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Ooh.
Not that I didn't like it.
You don't have to hurt. It's okay. You can fix his feelings.
We're not talking about what we played this week, right? But I am currently, I would say, the games that I am juggling are Elden Ring, Plague Tale, and Senua.
Oh, so you've just started Plague Tale then?
Yeah, not long.
Okay.
I mean, maybe a week ago, just before the conference.
So okay, we'll talk next week. We'll talk next week about it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good. But yeah, super excited for this game. It looks like a more Plague Tale, to be honest with you, continuing that story, which is what I wanted. And launching on Game Pass. Oh, super pretty. Super pretty. Moving on, we had Forza Motorsport reveal, which has no number.
Speaking of pretty.
Has no number now. We're just Forza Motorsport. Did they expand on that at all during the extended showcase? Did anyone mention numbers or anything like that?
I'll be real with you. I skipped through the Forza Motorsport section of the extended showcase.
That's fine. Yeah, that's literally what I just said. You pick the games that you care about, and you skip the ones you don't. I get it. I totally get it. No information there. Then Matt's poor at his job. Yeah. Speaking of, I didn't get to watch the extended showcase, so I've been busy. That's a lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I haven't been busy. I took 2 days off. I just took the days off and didn't do anything. But that's what I wanted.
You need that some days. You're busy doing nothing. You can be busy. It's okay to be busy doing nothing, everybody. If you want a nothing day, you can be busy doing that, except for Fix, who's busy all the time.
I'm just saying as well, Fix, right now, and subconsciously, your frame says a lot about you, and you always take the piss out of me and my images. A lot of brands going on in your frame right now, not a single one of them Xbox.
That's a good point.
Okay.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah, that's better.
Number one.
Somebody has to make a GIF of that.
Number one, sponsored by Elgato.
That is a good gift. To be fair, that's a really good gift.
Number 2, Resident Evil's there, and that's all that matters. Number 3, don't worry about what I do, yeah? Don't worry about what I do. Yeah? Okay?
Fair enough.
All right. Now, moving on. It was already spoken about a little bit earlier. Forza Horizon. Chris, you put Lego.
That ain't Lego.
It's Hot Wheels.
Oh, that's my fault. It's Hot Wheels. It's Hot Wheels, not Legos.
Hot Wheels expansion.
My fault.
Hot Wheels expansion was announced. Obviously, in Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
No?
no Game Pass.
I don't think it is in Game Pass.
No, it's not on Game Pass. If you look at the picture they have of the stuff coming next 12 months, Hot Wheels is not it. It is not in Game Pass.
So it's a paid expansion.
Which most of the time, I was having a conversation with somebody, and most of the time, they're right. Expansions don't come to Game Pass.
No, they're right. Yeah. No,
DLCs
I've
do
noticed
not come
that.
to Game Pass.
Yeah,
I
I've
am
noticed
so
that.
convinced this is coming to Game Pass.
Pizza bet?
We can.
Well, I did
pizza
watch
bet.
the extended showcase for the Hot Wheels bit, and I'm sure it's coming to Game Pass.
Google search it. It's too easy to Google search. Just Google search it. Crash.
We can do a pizza bet.
No pizza bet. No. Don't do it.
Let's just figure it out. They said they're putting 10 new cars in the game, 4 of which are Hot Wheels cars, and that you can fully create your own Hot Wheels tracks. They've implemented a new bit into the Create a Track system where you can clip ready-made parts of tracks together to create your own tracks. It looks fucking sick. 4 biomes that all these tracks kind of interweave and go through. It looks so cool. Magnetic tracks, ice tracks.
Are you
looks
actually
great.
going to play it, though?
Hell, well, if it ain't Game Pass, I ain't
Do
playing
you
it.
want to do a pizza bet, Matt?
Is it actually not on Game Pass?
Do you want to do pizza?
No, I know. I'm not committing to Pizza Bet now that you've looked it up.
You do realize that not Lego, Hot Wheels. I wanted to do the pizza bet before I looked it up, but Hot Wheels is a IP and a license that they have to pay for.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It not being on Game Pass being on Game Pass would be wild because they also have to pay for the production of that content. Like Game Pass would cover the production, I'm sure, but I don't know if it would cover the IP.
No, I agree. It makes perfect sense.
I'm mad about it.
I mean, to be fair, bro, it's just one. You've got the game in Game Pass, so buy the DLC, support the devs.
No, I'm going to be a stroppy child about it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Flight Sim DLC was announced. Didn't interest me at all.
That shit's in Game Pass.
Yes, it is. That's DLC, not expansion, though.
Oh, let's
Also,
not
like
have this
the
fight
Flight
again.
Sim DLC doesn't pull from anything else. It's not a Hot Wheel.
Actually,
If there is
if
a
you
Hot
watch-
Wheels Flight Sim
if you-
DLC ever at any point,
If you watch the extended showcase, you'll see that they have a partnership with the Smithsonian Air Museum in Washington, D.C.
That probably
And
cost them
Paris
about
Lily
$2.50, bro. Like,
got
I'm sure
himself
that they
on a
were
little
at-
helicopter and flew over.
wait.
Go on.
I'm sure that the Smithsonian or whatever was very hyped to get their
I bet they
ship
were.
or plane or whatever
I'm
in
sure
Flight
Hot
Sim. I
Wheels
bet
was
they were
too.
so excited.
Hot Wheels don't care. Oh, Jesus Christ. Moving on, Scorn gameplay. It's coming to Game Pass, and none of us care.
This was a bit of a shocker of the show, wasn't it?
Shocker of the show, yes.
I wasn't super hyped on Scorn before, and I certainly ain't now.
Go on.
I've talked to some people that are excited for it and like this showcase.
Oh,
So I don't want to say
really?
there's not people who didn't enjoy the showcase. Yeah, so I know I just didn't care.
It
for
didn't do
this.
anything for me, and I was
personally.
excited for it in the first place, but it did nothing for me. Nothing. Really upset.
So,
Something that did get you excited though, Crash, Overwatch 2. They showed off a little bit more gameplay, new character, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
and
character,
it's
Yep,
going to be
yep.
free to play.
which is huge news. Like
Yeah.
to be honest, for Overwatch, with it should have released like this and all that, a whole bunch of stuff they should have done differently. But at least now they're like it's free to play, so it's not even that you have to own Overwatch 1 to play Overwatch 2. The new character looks cool. They announced the launch date, which is October 2nd. So a lot of Overwatch news here. That's really cool. A lot of Blizzard news in general during this event, which I thought was a funny way of Microsoft just avoiding the Activision conversation while having the Activision conversation.
Well, they're lucky. They're lucky. COD was at the Summer Game Fest, right? So
I don't think they would have taken COD anyway.
no, yeah, but I'm saying like it's soon. That's
Oh
all
yeah, so it had a
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah, it still had a
Yeah,
presence.
got
so-
you.
Yeah. So they kind of got away with it like that. So next up was Ara History Untold. Yeah, it wasn't a me game. It's like a god game, you know? Looks like it's gonna like compete with
Civilization.
Like
Thank you very much.
Humankind
and Civ and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you're into these type of games, obviously this is hype. It looked good. It's not like it didn't look good. Graphically look amazing as well. These games always do though. But just not a me type game, unfortunately. It's a shame. Any of you two thinking about picking up when it comes to Game Pass?
Maybe like me and my uni mates got really into Civ when we were in uni, because we were a bunch of fucking nerds.
What a bunch of nerds.
But yeah, I love Civ. You know, the whole one more turn thing is addictive as goddamn hell. And yeah, it looks really interesting what they're trying to do. It looks kind of more what's the word I'm looking for? Like hands off than Civ. Like it's a little bit more like, I'm going to build stuff and try and influence the culture this way, but it's actually ultimately up to the citizens what they're doing, and I'm just kind of influencing more than I am directly controlling. Like
yeah.
That was kind of the vibe. So yeah, interesting.
I totally agree. Totally agree. This is when pretty much the thing that definitely won me this prediction. If I didn't win, this is so rigged. It's ridiculous.
I just want to say, you could get no points for this. Because your prediction was not correct, is all I want to say.
Leave it to the cookie man.
Hideo Kojima working with Xbox. We know nothing. All we know is Kojima's working with Xbox. It's humongous. It's big. All I know is it better be better than Death Stranding, gameplay wise.
All I know is throughout this conference, they said, we're talking about everything you're going to see in the next 12 months, everything you're going to be able to play in the next 12 months. So we must be able to play Hideo Kojima's new game in the next 12 months.
No
they said most.
No chance.
They said
on hell.
most are focus. Focus doesn't imply everything is going to be next 12 months. This was honestly probably like one of their mic drop moments, and I don't think it landed the way they hoped it would.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It's huge. But it hasn't landed the way I thought it would.
We didn't see anything. We didn't see a picture. We didn't see a video. Like at least like a picture of some weird stuff that nobody understands going on. Like literally, they could have went into Photoshop, put in a bunch of random stuff that morning that made no sense and it was incoherent, and somebody would have been like, "Oh my god, I see the vision. It's fantastic."
It's a great point. I think. Do you know what I think this was? This was we need to get out in front of this before it leaks.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because this has been like rumbling around. As it's been leaked for a while, so I think they were probably like, we'll send this out before anything official happens or anything like that. So
Phil
I think it was
Spencer,
a smart move on their part.
Marketing genius, by the way. Don't care what anyone says. That just putting things in the background has now become such a good marketing thing for Xbox fans to grab hold of. Like I remember when the Switch was in the background, and then like a character, I think it's Banjo, got announced, and obviously this, and there's a few other bits and bobs. It's just so smart, so smart.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Phil also used to wear T-shirts for stuff that were teased. No,
he wore
Battletoads.
So that got announced. And
this is just like an evolution of that, where he's constantly, whenever he's involved in anything, you just gotta watch the surrounding completely, like to catch anything.
Yeah,
what was he wearing? For this?
Nothing, just
any
a
of
shirt.
us
It
know
was
this?
a button-down shirt.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Next up, we saw some more stuff from Bethesda. They came into the showcase a bit more here. They announced new expansion for Elder Scrolls, which is in Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'll let you know right now. I will.
Oh, it better be.
Nope.
No, I don't think it is.
Oh. Expansions aren't on Game Pass, man.
No, I know. That's all. So
What is?
That's not an expansion. That's a DLC.
They're adding new cities to America.
That's different. It's different.
They're expanding.
Flight Sim's also incredibly niche, and if they make it like you got to pay for this, the population of that game would probably drop drastically.
Was the Top Gun stuff free? Do we know?
All been free.
All been free. Okay.
Are you sure the Top Gun stuff's been free, Matt?
I'm not 100% sure.
Matt doesn't know. Matt's broke. I'm gonna look it up just because I feel like we should know this.
All right. Well, while you do that, they announced some Elder Scrolls expansion. We then see Diablo 4, new class, and some gameplay. Actually, got me interested into Diablo 4. I'm not gonna lie. Watching this actually did. Yeah, because I bought Diablo 3 when it came to Xbox One back in the day, and me and Haley were gonna play it because couch co-op and stuff like that. And then I just never did. But watching this Diablo 4 gameplay, I was like, maybe I should give this a shot. Maybe. You know?
I'm kind of the same. Yeah, I don't think I touched Diablo 3 at all, actually, but was very aware of it when it was out, and watching a lot of stuff about it and getting involved in it, and then never really got around to playing it. Diablo 4 could be the one. Get me in.
Diablo 4 game night? Diablo 4 with the boys? Just a quick side note. The Top Gun one was free and completely free, so not on Game Pass. It was just free if you owned the game.
Okay. Gotcha. That's how they're getting around all this. Interesting. Next up, as Dusk Falls, more gameplay. Obviously on Game Pass day one, we've done that for a while. I don't think this game shows well. I think this game's going to be good. And I think it's going to be interesting. And I love the art style. I don't love the showing they did for this one.
Do you want me to break your heart?
Go on.
In the expanded showcase, they showed off the co-op element, which they've announced is up to 8 players.
Yep.
And something you were hoping for is that each player would take control of a character. That is not the system they are using. They are using a voting system. You can also...
It's pointless playing co-op then, yeah.
You can also... there are kind of quick time events as you'd kind of expect in a game like this. So it's like tap X to escape this thing or whatever. Yeah. And some people are tapping their phone, some people are on the controller. Whoever wins that wins like an override thing, so they can then take control of a situation.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Block everybody else out from the voting system. Yeah, it's kind of neat.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
Can I be honest? The mix of the 3D graphics and the 2D was incredibly off-putting.
I agree. I like the art style. I like the idea that it's motion graphic, but clearly they've gone, we can do cars. Let's not worry about it. Let's just do the cars in 3D and make it fluid and weird. Why are we jumping around?
Yeah, I agree. It's just... It honestly, we've seen this game multiple times in the past times I've seen it. I thought it wasn't that bad, but I went through and I watched some of the stuff from the show, and this was one of the things, and it was like, this doesn't... I'm not going to say that I won't play it, but
I think we should play
my interest in it went drastically down.
I think we should just all play it.
I think we should.
I feel like...
That'll be fun.
Well, I feel like even if we did, I know, Matt, your partner plays these type of games as well. Sure. And I know my partner plays them as well, even if they don't want to be on camera and stuff like that. But I feel like if we got multiple of us playing it, I think it would actually make a better experience for me personally. And maybe even some people from the community, if they would want to jump in Discord, and because it's up to 8 people, right? And actually make it. I guarantee this game's no longer than 10 hours long. So I reckon you can beat it in in 3 sittings, 2 sittings, something like that.
It is up to 8 people. Not hugely clear from the bits that I watched if that is online or not, or if it's only local.
Oh,
I only saw them doing local co-op.
Oh, maybe it's just local then. That would make sense. It makes sense to make it more of a party vibe type game.
It's a cinema, yeah.
Maybe I'll play it with my mum. Maybe she'd be interested. Probably not though. She's a bit of a weird person. I love her, but there ain't definite. She's just not interested.
Oh, there's definitely death in it.
No, but it's going to take too long to get to the death.
Like Game of Thrones type of death, right?
She just needs death instantaneously. Yeah, weird woman. I love her, but weird woman. Next up, Arc 2 coming next year. Cool.
Big old Vin Diesel is bald head on a dinosaur.
Can I make? Did you see that Vin Diesel said, "You're not a real gamer if you're not hyped for this," or something like that?
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Can I make a prediction? This game is going to be very, very bad. Did you hear that it's like a Dark Souls type game?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's not like the original Arcs. It's like a Souls type game.
What does that mean?
It's like a Souls, like you know how you have the type of combat in Souls. It is like that. It's literally what a Souls type game means.
Wait, so wait. Hold up a minute.
Wait.
What do you mean? Like, is it not like a survival?
No, as far as I'm aware. Oh well, here's
gets me way
I just
more
looked it
excited
up
for
real
this
quick.
fucking
This
game.
is from Games Radar. Following its appearance during the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase 2022 over the weekend, it has been revealed the Arc 2 will have Souls-like combat. So maybe it is a survival game, but I'm getting the feeling with it being a Vin Diesel game, it is not a survival game.
See, in my head, you weren't even playing as Vin. Vin
Oh, you're gonna
was
play as Vin Diesel.
a character in the game. Maybe like a legend. A long
Look,
path.
this game is what's the game? Last of Us meets Dark Souls meets Jurassic Park. That is what this game is.
I am fucking in.
This is gonna be bad.
It's not, Matt. It's not going to be good.
To be
It's
fair,
not.
Vin Diesel has at least a 25% good game ratio, which isn't that bad.
Bro,
That's-
he's got one
that's
good
'cause you know how many-
game.
And he's got about 4 games. Therefore, 25% of his games are good.
That's a bad percentage. That is a bad.
Terrible
If it,
percentage.
that's a bad percentage.
That's a terrible
as I was
percentage.
saying it, I was thinking about how many games there were. The number kept going up, and I was like, "Shit, I'm in trouble."
But you still tried, Solon. I respect
I
that.
forgot about Wheelman and Fast and Furious.
I was gonna
and-
say, like, he's
Yeah.
I remember playing Wheelman back in the day just for achievements, like being like, "Oh, this game sucks."
That was
but
his own studio, wasn't it? Like he funded that.
I think I don't know if that means it's his own studio. I think he funded it.
I think they were making Vin Diesel games. That was the plan, but then Wheelman wasn't particularly well received. I might be wrong.
Jesus Christ. Moving on, Flintlock Siege of Dawn reveal coming to Game Pass day 1. Flintlock. Why don't I remember
This game
one?
looks great.
What game?
it's
What one was
The
this?
God of
axe with the
War,
little
a
dog
girl
ghost
running
flying.
around with their axe,
Oh, this is
fighting
one.
skeletons
Yeah.
with a little
Yeah,
dog.
it.
Great.
Yeah,
It had me intrigued.
it looked
in
good.
What it could be. The showing of the gameplay didn't pull me in super hard because it looked a little bit. I don't know if it's out of pace or a little bit clunky or something. Something just felt off with the game, which could just very much be like it's because you're watching the game and not playing it, right?
Yeah. Oh, this
Also,
game
like-
will 100% play better than it looked.
I agree, but also like you know what you're doing with this game, right? Like you've gone third person over the shoulder and given a cool looking character an axe. Like you know what you're trying to do here. That has some of the best combat in video games of the
Ever.
past 10 years.
Ever.
Yes, 100% ever. So better be fucking good. Like you are putting yourself side by side here. So you better play ball.
I will say I think that's a little bit unfair to them because nothing about this gave me God of War vibes. at
No,
all.
me either.
Yeah.
But
Until Matt said that it's a character with an axe, which is a pretty broad statement. If I'm going to be honest, it's a character with an axe. We didn't see the character throwing the axe. We didn't see
Okay.
anything like that.
I get very God of War vibes from this. Is that just me?
yeah, I
Am
didn't.
I on my
I
own?
didn't. Yeah, I didn't get God of War
Xbox One?
vibes. Yeah, I didn't get no. And plus, I don't think it's fair to compare a game like this to that to God of War. No way. I think you're going to be bitterly disappointed if that's the expectations you're going in with.
I agree. I don't think it's fair to compare this to God of War. But they look so goddamn similar, it's hard not to.
I don't think they look that similar.
Okay.
I respect you. And I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the greatest albums of all time.
It's fair. It's fair.
If you understand that reference, I rate you. If you don't, that's on you. Next up, I actually think it was the biggest announcement if you go by YouTube metrics. Minecraft Legends revealed. I think it did like 4.9 million views on YouTube instantaneously, which
Imagine it was a good showing.
bro, like, I just.
I've talked to people who are excited about this. So there are people that like the showing. I did not think it was a fantastic showing of this game.
What is it?
I still don't know what the game is.
In the extended showcase, they talked
There
about
we
it
go.
a lot, and I still don't know what this game is.
Oh, that's
I
not
watched
good.
the 10-minute thing.
I thought Matt was just gonna like reveal everything to us and it was all gonna make sense.
I wish I could. I have no idea.
Uh,
They talked about Minecraft a lot. They talked about Minecraft Dungeons being a really good variation on Minecraft. I don't know what this game is still.
I just.
I don't know.
Hey, don't get it twisted, yeah? I love Minecraft, as Crash knows. I'm a Minecraft guy. I like Minecraft a lot. I like the world of Minecraft. It's where the MC came from. Never forget. But yeah, this just didn't do it for me. At all. And I'm hoping maybe, and calling it a new strategy game as well, was just like, is that what Minecraft people want? Is that what they're clamoring for? A strategy game?
There are people who do the survival mode in Minecraft, and you could consider that strategy. No?
Sure, not this kind of strategy though. I think
No. It's
No.
the one thing I did get, the one thing I did get from the developer
This is
interview is
actually
this
French.
is going to have a story. This is going to introduce new characters to the Minecraft world and
That's
have
cool.
a narrative.
That's cool.
Minecraft Dungeon did that as well,
It
and
did.
I couldn't care about Minecraft Dungeon.
No, but just because you don't care about something doesn't mean it's not a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I will say, like, they need to have a breakdown of what this is, because I'm sure they know, and I think it seems like they expected people to understand what they were saying, because they showed a good bit. It's not like they didn't show anything. And my takeaway from it is that it is a third-person tower defense type of game, but I don't know if that's what it is.
Well, that's
Maybe.
the vibes I got. But hey, good to see good to see Microsoft putting Minecraft to work and making some goddamn money again, because this is going to sell like hotcakes. This is going to be huge.
Absolutely.
This is going to be huge. So good for them. Proud of them. Keep it going. Keep the Minecraft spin-off games coming. I enjoy them. We got to look at Lightyear Frontier. That was revealed. Oh, Matt, you're going to have to remind me of this one, bud.
It was the
I
mech
wish I could.
one that was like farming and stuff like that. And
Oh yeah, Stardew Valley, but with mechs on an alien planet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like the look of this other than the mech part, which is the entire game. So,
which it's a unique take on a game like this, I will say
Yeah.
that. And if they pull it off, they will definitely have a niche within that market. At worst case, at best case, like they have a hit on their hands with that. It doesn't. I'm already very iffy on like farming type of games, and this did not interest me at all.
every time I
It
think of
interested
Stardew,
me.
I just want to play more Stardew.
Exactly. But I haven't got anything left to do in Stardew.
I have.
So
I never finished it.
You start a new save.
you never finished it?
Nope.
Oh, then you have, quite frankly, an unreasonable amount to do. Because the amount they added to that game over the past 4 years or whatever it's been is unbelievable.
Stardew game that?
Oh my god.
Just saying.
I mean, add it to the list at this point.
Sure. Next up, it was Gunfire Reborn, which was the
Roguelite,
animal
one.
roguelike. Yeah, I remember this one. It did nothing for me. Personally. Not my type of game.
I'm looking forward to it coming on Game Pass.
You'll give it a whirl.
I think this is a cool game to also come on console. Yeah, for sure. Will it be will it like resonate with me? I don't know. But I've seen a lot of good and positive things about this game. So I'm expecting people to at least enjoy it, and it's coming to Game Pass, which is dope.
Sold 2 million copies on PC. So
Well, there you go.
I'm pretty sure it was on PC. Might be on mobile as well, actually. So Either way. CFE's got an update. Cool.
You missed one there.
Oh,
The
sorry.
last case of Benedict Fox.
I
which
did
thought
miss
looked
one.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
2D side scroll, kind of a unique art style, spooky detective thing.
Yeah, kind of like a limbo cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of style of game. Yeah, not for me. Not my type of game. I think the thing about this is I can see this getting 10 out of 10s. Like, and everyone raving about it, and me playing it and going, just don't get it. Just don't get it, you know? It's one of those games.
Yeah.
This would be a game that's on your Game of the Year list, probably.
Didn't interest me.
Nah.
Oh, you think this is like this year's Artful Escape?
Probably.
It's gonna be the Artful Escape this year.
Might not be this year. Might be next year game. Can't remember.
Either way, it'd be one of those games that you're just all about, and then I'm like, whatever.
I respect it.
Jesus. Sea of Thieves update coming to Game Pass. That was just an update, not an expansion, so it makes sense why that's coming to Game Pass, and they're just building on that game. Somebody clip that out of the podcast and just put it on Twitter. Just Matt, shut up. Next up, big one. Wulong was revealed. It looked good. It looked good. This is Team Ninja's next game. Obviously published by Koei Tecmo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
If you're into these type of games, you're gonna love it. 100%. It looked pretty. It looked good. It looked interesting.
Yeah.
Will I get around to playing it? Probably not.
Maybe.
I think the fact that it is a game from Team Ninja that is not a Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy game is fantastic. The Neo games are absolutely fantastic games. So I'm very, very excited for this. And it's dope to see it coming to Xbox.
Yep. Also coming to PlayStation, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Coming to PlayStation 5 as well. Yeah. We had Ravenlock was announced also at the showcase.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right
No,
now,
neither.
actually.
This is the cool one. This one was a dope showing.
the
cool
one.
stealth one?
What did you find cool about it?
Cool. Everything. Look,
The Ravens, the Locks.
the wording
Raven,
was
the
poor.
locks, it was so cool.
The wording was poor, but you know what I meant. This was a good showing.
It
Was
looked
this the
like
stealth
an
game with
Alice
the
in Wonderland game. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, I
Like
don't disagree with that.
the Madness Returns. It looks similar to that. in
Yeah, I
style.
don't disagree
Yeah.
with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of it, but okay,
Oh,
great.
it's like Haley's favorite game of all time was Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, it looked interesting. It looked interesting. It didn't do much for me, but it looked interesting. It was cute. It was cute, and that was enough. Grounded, full release. Finally, Grounded's getting a full release. They doubled down on the story mode and sort of showed a bit of that. I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's been in preview for too long. And I don't know if you get a second chance at a game like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. I actually really understand that because that's how I was with when I played Ark. I played Ark in preview a lot, and by the time the game fully released, it was like it's a little too late. And it's still, even after release, and I'm not going to talk about Grounded, but even after release, Ark wasn't the best game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think the difference is there. You said you played Ark a lot in pre-release.
We
I
did.
think all of us have touched Grounded, but
Yeah.
none of us have played a lot of it.
Agree.
So
that's
I'm
fair.
excited to jump in more.
Yeah. No, I
Whereas with
agree.
Ark, like when they full release
But-
it, you're like, actually, a lot of this is the same, right?
Yeah, but the people who are going to carry this game are mostly people who have been playing it for a long time, I'd assume. I don't think you're going to get a huge influx of people to carry the game.
I don't know. I think I mean, you've got to think kids. The games aimed at kids do fucking well, man. Like if you can hit that Minecraft audience and capture them now with a full release game with a new thing.
I think that's the problem, though.
Those kids know this game's been out. Like any kid who would be interested in this knows this game exists. It's not going to be sure it'll be a new thing for some people. I do think the benefit this has is an actual story mode and that story being completed. And if the story is good, I think that could pull in new people who are like, "Oh yeah, I'll play this," and they play it and they enjoy it and they'll stick around with it longer. Or then some people are like, "I just want to play the campaign and have fun with that."
I think it takes a handful of streamers, well-known streamers, to pick this up for a couple of days, and that could really do them well. And I don't know if it
It
gets.
could have that Sea of Thieves vibe where like just streamers decide, oh, we like this,
Yeah.
and boom, you're off to the races.
Yeah, you get an XQC and crew on there for a couple of days.
Take you out, know who XQC is. Cute.
He had to name drop the only streamer. His name, he knows.
He doesn't know anybody else. Next up
Ludwig
was Ereban Shadow Legacy. This was that ninja looking type game. She's all like dressed in blue and stuff like that. Yeah. Again, this is
best game revealed.
Really?
Best game revealed. Yes, I'm very excited for this game. I really, 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 really like the look of this game.
Huh.
I remember you saying during the show you thought this game looked great. Stealth,
Yep.
robots. What more could you want?
Not stealth and not robots.
Is
How
it
about
not
that?
a game?
No, it is.
No,
I'm saying
it's stealth.
How about we don't? How about I don't get that?
Okay, fine.
Nobody asked what you wanted, Matt. Fix. I said,
Matt. Yeah, Matt. No one asked what you wanted.
I apologize. I was aimed at the wrong person.
Unbelievable.
Next one was Cocoon.
Made by the same people as Limbo and Inside.
A
lot of people.
It was the one with the little bug flying around and grabbing the orbs and
very
all
excited
that.
for this. I didn't think it looked all that great, to be honest. It didn't get me excited. I love Inside, love Limbo, and so I'm sure I'll give it a chance. I'm sure I'll very much enjoy it. But I didn't get much from the showing, but people online seem to be very excited.
I really didn't like it, the look of it. But that doesn't mean anything.
I've never been super into the visuals of Limbo or any of their games either, so I don't think this was really a me game either way.
Limbo. What was the other one? God, Inside?
Yeah, Inside and Limbo, yeah.
There you go, Inside, yeah. Next up was a brand new game from Obsidian. I caught a little bit of slack for actually not liking this one, which was how do I pronounce this? Pentiment Form? Is that what it's called? Or is it just Pentiment? Oh, it's just Pentiment.
Yeah, Pentiment.
I honestly, I understand why it exists, and I've said this many a time, which this to me seems like just one of those games that there's a team out there, small team that's just like, we really want to make this, and then Xbox were like, perfect, because we got Game Pass, but this just did nothing for me at all. Didn't really enjoy the art style. Didn't enjoy what the gameplay looked to it like it was going to be. Just not for me at all.
I'm surprised you caught flack for not enjoying it.
Oh,
because I thought
people are excited for this game, bro.
People are very excited for it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I thought this was for me, it was the worst showing game at this. And a lot of people disagree with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I've seen people saying Duskfall was the worst showing game and other games. I had no interest in this game whatsoever.
Was the worst showing game.
Some people like Scorn's showing.
I'm making
I
a
agree with you,
statement.
Fix.
Yeah, thank you. I'm making the statement.
I think I said it during the stream as well. Like, one of my all-time favorite games is Valiant Hearts, which tells a World War I story in a not dissimilar art style, actually, but quite a bit different. And I think if I'd seen a trailer for Valiant Hearts or a showing at a conference like this, I would not have thought much of it at all. And it turned out to be one of my favorite games of all time. Part of the reason for that is it's telling me about a period in history that I didn't know a massive amount about before then. I still don't now, to be honest with you. It's not like this all-encompassing World War I story, right? But it is a brilliant story nonetheless. And watching the extended showcase again, ding ding, they talked a lot about this and about telling this story, in I want to say 16th century France, but that might be wrong. And this idea that this story takes place over 25 years and you're going to grow up in this town and solve these murder mysteries and stuff like that. And it sounded really interesting to me. So I am in.
I'm glad you're in. Yeah, I'm glad you're in. I don't know, man. It was one of those ones where I was just like, that's not what I wanted. But then again, I think at the time as well, I was waiting for the big hitter. Like even this conversation started off really strong, and then you now hear me going, Not really for me. Not really for me. Not really for me. And it's like this next game, one that I know Crush is very excited for, is that battle royale fighting game. How do I pronounce it, Crush?
Naraka Blade Point.
Yeah, Naraka Blade Point. Again, not for me. Sure, it's going to be huge. Sure, people are going to enjoy it. I'm always interested in new takes in battle royales, but I prefer shooter battle royales over anything else. You know?
Yeah.
But I know you're a fighting game guy though, so this is obviously somewhat in your world, no?
Say that Fix? Did that game look like a fighting game, Fix?
It looked more like a fighting game than it did. It's more a fighting game than it's a shooter, right? What is it? What genre is it?
I don't.
Not when I say fighting game, I don't mean.
I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. Because you could view what's Ubisoft's game that they've been For Honor.
For Honor's a fighting game.
For Honor.
Yeah. So I understand the point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I'm very excited for this. I wanted to play it when it came out, but I don't think my PC would have been able to handle this game. I'm excited. Console release is coming for this. Coming to Game Pass. I think that's really cool. It's probably the most. Go ahead, Matt.
All I was going to say is they're also expanding the game by adding a campaign that is coming to Game Pass for free too. Well, not free.
Yeah.
Game Pass, but you know what I mean.
It's not an expansion.
Not expansion though.
It's the full game at that point. Matt, like you're really trying to sneak one in with the expanding the game. Yeah, no, I think that's also really cool. I think because I've heard a lot of people say like the gameplay is cool, it looks cool, but they don't really like the BR aspect for it because there is a very high skill floor and skill ceiling in this game. Yeah. So having a PvE type mode in a campaign, I think is really, really dope for people who want to experience it. And it gives it value on Game Pass outside of people who just enjoy BRs and games like that.
Agree. 100% agree with you. Last but not least, Starfield gameplay revealed. We saw a deep dive into what the hell Starfield is. And I think we all came away with different takes, really, about it. Matt, we'll start with you, though. Like, overall thoughts, now you've probably watched it maybe another time, you've watched the extended cut. How you feeling?
Yeah, they actually didn't talk a massive amount about it in the extended showcase. I think because they were focusing on other stuff, and they've already released quite a lot of information around Starfield, and the gameplay that they did focus on during the main event was pretty chunky, too. And so, yeah, I'm super excited. Like it is everything that I thought it would be, to be honest with you. And actually a little bit more. Like I didn't expect really the level of ship customization that looks like there is available in the game. They very much talk a lot about this being your story, about you being able to do what you want to do. And we talked about on the live stream, actually, this idea that in open world games now, like the game for us isn't you must see everything. It's this was my story. These are the things that I saw. These are the things that I did that made sense for me and my character. And that excites me. The idea of there being 1,000 worlds is very overwhelming, but I know I'm not going to visit those 1,000 worlds. That doesn't make sense for me. That's just not going to be something I do. Somebody will, I'm sure, out there, and they'll have a blast doing it, I hope. But that's not the game I want to play, and I'm excited for the game that I want to play.
Yeah, I to agree with you. Yeah, it's a case of I'm gonna go in and play the game the way I want to play the game, not the way others want me to play the game or others want me to experience the game. Obviously, the big chatter right now is 1,000 planets. Oh, they're all gonna be nothing on them, and and that's super overwhelming, and blah 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 blah. I'm not even getting caught up in that chat anymore. I am going to experience this game how I want to experience this game and visit 10 planets or 100 planets or maybe 200 planets or maybe 20 planets or whatever the game's going to force me to do to get to the start to finish, plus whatever I decide to then go off and do. That's how I'm going to experience this game.
Did you know that it's very funny that in order to like really judge a game, you have to play it first? It's a wild idea in theory. But there were people complaining about like the graphics of the game, and I'm like, a lot of you guys loved Elden Ring, and I love Elden Ring. Elden Ring's a fantastic game. Elden Ring graphically is not like the second coming of gaming or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
It is serviceable, and I think this game is serviceable as well. There's a little bit more gray in some areas, but that's because it's space. There's going to be moons and stuff like that. There's going to be gray. There's going to be colors in certain areas. I don't think you can expect everything, especially if there's 1,000 planets. I would hope that there's variety in how those planets look, and they don't all look like, well, we just copy and pasted with a slight color change, you know? Two things I'm worried about is the 1,000 planets. I think it depends how much they force me to interact with some of those other planets. For me, especially if they do end up being bland, which I think for some people is a rightful concern. I don't think it's a reason to like completely bash the game, but I think it's fair to be concerned about
you've
that.
Even gone to the planet and seen that it's empty.
Yeah, exactly. And 2 is the gunplay, which I'm not expecting anything out of it because Bethesda, notoriously, we've talked about it. I've never been a fan of Bethesda games' gunplay, but I do hope that it's to some people.
No, it's serviceable. It's serviceable.
It is. I hope it's better than
gunplay is serviceable.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm comparing the new games. I'm not comparing.
Sure. What I'm saying is, the improvements from 3 to New Vegas to 4 are leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Gunplay in 3 is not serviceable. That's why they introduced that.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. Okay. I agree. But yeah.
So that's
go on.
them adding sliding. I think is really cool, and that's showing a sign of like they want to add more like FPS type of mechanics, which hopefully, even if the gunplay itself isn't super serviceable, the way you interact with that world becomes serviceable, right? Or not serviceable, but good. Not serviceable is the wrong word. So I'm neither optimistic or pessimistic about the game. I'm just seeing the game right now. I'm interested in it.
I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting until I see the thing that I am interested in. Really, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's like I like what I saw. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I do have a question for you guys about this game. So you know how during the showing they show like where do you want to land, and you can land anywhere.
Yeah.
It's come out that you don't actively land your ship.
Yes, I did.
Like you are not in control of it. So how do you guys feel about that in relation to what was said?
Whatever.
So I've seen some people say it's a sort of sleight of the hands or sleight of the words, if you will.
No,
in what they said in the showing.
I don't think that's the case. I had assumed, that was going to be the case because of the way that they showed the gameplay. Like that is what they showed, like him kind of transitioning into his ship and then taking off. Like it wasn't like a very fluid. Oh, he like No Man's Sky. You get up, you jump into the cockpit, you start up the engines, you go. Didn't seem like that at all through the game, and so that's
to me,
not
it's
what I
more of a
expected.
plus. If anything, it's more of a plus. Like, yay, good. Like for me, good.
I'm a little bit disappointed by that. Like, I love the idea of like flying over, high above a planet and kind of looking down and deciding, oh, I want to go there now, instead of doing that from a map.
Right.
It's more immersive and cooler to me. Like, I think No Man's Sky is like kind of brilliant in that way, right? So yeah, a little bit disappointed.
Almost like that's what makes No Man's Sky No Man's Sky, and this is what's gonna make it. You're saying.
It could also be like that first of all, we don't know how it's going to look when they actually go down into a panic, because it could all be seamless, and the reason they're doing it this way is because the landing mechanics just aren't what they need to be in this game.
I'd
so they're like, we're just going to cut that out completely.
I'd rather it be this than the landing mechanics are terrible, and then I have to do that for 150 hours of just pure terror every time I have to land. So yeah, I'd much rather. There's nothing wrong with like painting over the cracks sort of thing, and if that is what this is, cool. It will make for a better experience overall. So,
yeah, you're right. Maybe they had it and they were like, this is not fun. This is detrimental to the game, and therefore we need to take it out.
Yeah.
Great.
Why possibly?
Or they just know that from the off, like do they want ship damage to be a real thing in there? Well, now landing your ship is really hard, and most of the time you're probably going to fuck up your ship landing your ship and then be stranded and then game over. Like I don't know. It's not the end of the world.
I just look. There's a couple of things that I care about with Starfield. Number one, it's polished correctly, and I'd rather the game be delayed.
Good luck.
Well, but you say good luck, but I said this before, and I'll say it again. No more passes for Bethesda. I am done with them. I understand the go on, Crash.
I was just gonna say, like, you can't expect 100% polish from it.
I don't expect 100%. I don't expect 100%. What I want is, I don't want it to be a case of the game comes out, we enjoy from A to B, we enjoy the experience, and then it's a buggy mess, and we all go, oh yeah, but it's a Bethesda game. No. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore.
I think the people think of a buggy mess like, oh, I landed on one planet and fell through the earth and then it reloaded and it was fine.
That's not a buggy mess. No.
A buggy mess is when in Fallout 3, if you played it on PS3, the save files kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until they destroyed your PS3. That's a buggy mess. Or, stuff in Cyberpunk that literally just would not let you continue with the game.
I couldn't play the game.
Exactly.
Literally, I'd get to a certain point and the game would just freeze my entire console and just turn off.
That's a buggy mess.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about a clip in here, a bug here, or that. No. But I'm just saying, it is 2022. This game will be out in 2023. And for years, we have, as a industry, I feel like we've done but it's a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
And I am done with, it's a Bethesda game. No.
To be fair, I think the industry's kind of sort of stepped away from that statement with both ESO and certainly Fallout 76. That conversation has sort of swiveled, but those were also different types of games as opposed to something like Starfield, which is more in line with the typical Bethesda game. But I agree. But we've talked about this and we've had this conversation multiple times. I think Bethesda's gotten away with a lot of stuff that I don't think they necessarily, not to say that they shouldn't have, because who's to dictate what a person should enjoy, right? But it would be cool to see them clean some of that up, which hopefully we will see here, because they are, regardless of whether you like their games or not, they're an incredibly talented studio at making RPGs.
Absolutely.
And so to see a cleaner experience of that would be really, really dope.
I think the argument could be made that they are the best at making RPGs. So now make the best RPG that you possibly can make, and just hope to God that it's polished and QA tested to live in hell. That's what I want. That's what I want. If whether that means more delays, I don't care. I just want a better product the day that it releases. And I understand there are some things you just can't fix until 1 million people have played. That's just the facts. There's some things that that's just what happens. But I just hope it comes out in a better state. Even Fallout 4 wasn't terrible for me. No. And again, different people you ask will have different experiences. But for me, it wasn't terrible. But I still want it to be better than that experience, personally. And that's all I hope for. That's all I hope for. Boys, we're going to stop there. We didn't make it to Summer Game Fest. We didn't make it to Capcom. But we've gone really, really long. We didn't make it to the questions this week. I know. I'm sorry. We will do another episode relatively soon. Maybe if the thing tonight is like crazy and people are crying, maybe if they announce that Final Fantasy VII is coming to Xbox, we will do just a whole nother special episode where we just go over the Capcom showcase, the Square Enix stuff, Devolver, and obviously Summer Game Fest. Maybe we'll do that. But we know people are waiting for this, so that you have it. Here you go. Let's plug, and get ourselves out of here. Go on,
I was going to say, also, we do have the results in from Origin Cookie Man. We will go through them on another episode.
Yeah, so I think what the plan is, we're going to do we will do a separate video strictly for that. But it's going to be weird because it's going to be very visual because Origin Cookie Man has done like a presentation. I will put that on the podcast feed because I know people want to hear the results, I'm sure, and there's been a lot of work put into it. So I will put it on the podcast feed, but not as a numbered episode. I will just put it up as like a prediction thing. It's going to be structured very differently from a podcast. It's going to be more of a visual thing. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/myxboxandme. But yeah, we'll go from there and figure all of that out. All right. Crash, what you got to plug this week, my guy?
My Xbox and Me the MC
Discord?
Fiction Discord with the My Xbox and Me section. Questions. We're running low on questions, and I'm thoroughly disappointed. And all. No, I'm joking. Just throw some questions there. The conversations happen in there. You can throw questions in the YouTube page. Hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag MXAM, or tag any of us. I hope if you tag either Fix or Matt, and you don't tag me, that they end up bringing it to me to add it to the show notes, because I can't magically find their mentions. But yeah. You guys gotta give me the login to all your Twitters.
Okay, on it. Matt, what are you going to plug this week, dude?
Nothing. We've talked about it. Go to the YouTube, subscribe, watch the
Okay.
special things happening over there,
Yeah.
and tune in. Well,
yeah.
it would have already happened by the time you're hearing this. Never mind. I was
Go
gonna say tune in
watch
live to watch me
our
win a pizza bet,
reaction to the Square Enix event, the Final Fantasy event. Go do
but
it.
It'll
watch
be
me win a
out.
pizza bet.
This is the last chance. This is it.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt.
Matt's so happy. It's gonna be. I hope that it shows up, just because I think it would be hysterical to change in Matt's demeanor so quick when that happens.
No. Here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be beautiful, right? It's gonna show up. My face will drop. I will be devastated. We will watch a, probably knowing them, 3 to 4 minute trailer of stuff we've already seen, as they then announce
But not on
Final
Xbox.
Fantasy 7 is coming to Xbox January 1st, 2023.
Oh. Well, it's not.
Remember, it also
I know. I look.
it also has to be on Game Pass, so it's not good enough that it just comes to Xbox. It has to be on Game Pass.
I think it comes to Game Pass if it comes to Xbox.
I agree.
I don't think so. We'll see.
We will see. By the time you're hearing this, I should have a new video out over on my YouTube channel. It is a music video for one of the songs that I made. I did see we have questions about music, so thank you. I appreciate you all. We'll read them on 2 weeks' time podcast, probably. Go on, Matt.
The music video is so good. Fig showed it to me before. It's really fucking good. It's funny as fuck. Like, how is this happening in a virtual world? Fix is in the metaverse. You gotta love it. You gotta respect it.
It's very different. It's very different from what I think anyone's expecting from them. They're really good. They're really good. I've got more coming as well. So yeah, go check it out. I would love for it to do well. And yeah, leave a comment on it saying Fixer for whitelist. So Fixer, FORWL. That's what you need to do. Everybody.
Except for WL.
Fixer for WL. Yeah. We're starting the hashtag. You'll see it.
Number 4?
You'll see it.
Number
No.
Okay.
The letters. You'll see it. Don't you worry.
I got you.
Until next time, we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye.